So we're going to start with the story of a tiny miracle. And to do that, I'm going to share my screen. So this is a musical about the planting of a little Christmas tree. On the cover of the book here, you can see Jack's illustration of a scene where a Christmas tree has just been planted and the wagon is in the background. And Grandpa is helping his grandson, Timmy, plant this little tiny Christmas tree. So that's where our story begins. And Grandpa sings a beautiful song. And this is Todd actually singing this song. It isn't difficult to plant a tree.
That's right, son. Tuck those roots in well.
It'll be all right here, don't you think, Grandpa? There, that wasn't so hard, was it?
No, Timmy, not hard at all. It isn't difficult to plant a tree. It's just a little thing, as you can see. And if we trust the tree to nature's tender care, it will grow fine and fair and full of grace within its mother's strong embrace. The earth is generous and will repay this act of tenderness from us today. In time, this tiny tree could grow to be magnificent, strong and tall, and that's incredible, almost a miracle, and every miracle begins with something small.
The old man smiled and gently lifted his grandson onto the wagon seat. Then he climbed up beside the boy and took up the reins. As the horses headed out of the valley, the boy looked back thoughtfully.
Do you suppose that big old oak will guard my little tree?
It's hard to say, we'll have to wait and see.
All right, so there we go. That's the first song in A Tiny Miracle, and I think the picture is really an evocative one. But Todd Waddington is the soloist there, and Todd, we're trying to figure out, or Darcy's trying to figure.
Get rid of that. It doesn't matter. Keep going.
All right. Well, should I end my share so you can do it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to end the share for a second because we just would like to spotlight Todd in the group there, and Darcy's
we
trying.
can
but-
find you,
but
Todd.
He's here incognito, of course.
Well,
as
it's
Harry.
because it says Harriet Levy. I
Thank
was
you very
preparing,
much.
I'm preparing for a gig next week, and I changed my identity before I knew this was going to be a Zoom
That's
call.
all right.
That's okay.
But so Todd.
Because here, meet.
But you know what? I look the right age now.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
You know?
do.
Yeah, you really
are
are
the
ready.
lovely
And
grandpa.
it's a miracle.
Yeah, ready to play a grandfather, and now you're not a grandfather yet, but you are a father now, which you
I
weren't
am
when we
a father.
recorded this.
Yes. No, I wasn't. She's 17.
And then that little tiny voice that you heard.
Oh, that was precious. I forgot all about that.
Yes.
Isn't that precious?
Well, yes. So the little boy in that was our son Kerry, and Kerry is of course now just turned 30, and
Harry's with us, but I think
he's-
he's muted his video.
yeah, he's with us, and so anyway, I just want to give a shout out to Kerry who was young enough that I could still press him into service to do theater projects in those days. Actually, Kerry had quite a fun run of doing shows from like age 9 to age 14, and then after that, I was like, done. So
Okay, moving right along.
yeah, so let's go on to track 2, where we're going to meet our little tree. So here's the little tree has just been planted, and when we did this on stage, of course, the little tree and all the trees are choristers. They're members of the chorus who are all standing on risers. So just like a grove of trees, all the members of the choir are gathered there, and the little tree that's just been planted comes to acquaint herself with all of the other trees that are around her, and they're all kind of a little unfriendly to her because she's small and she's kind of planted in a funny place, but she's very excited because she discovers that she is growing. So let's listen to this song called I'm Growing.
Something very strange is happening to me. I've begun to change quite imperceptibly. Every branch is twitching, every cell is itching. This is so bewitching, can it really be? I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing. Oh my goodness, one by one, I feel my needles start to sprout. In the sun, my branches all are branching out. Something quite immense is flooding all my senses. This is so intense, it makes me want to shout. I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing. Growing stronger, growing greener, growing happier and more, reaching deeper in the earth and stretching taller toward the sky.
Evergreen is starting to revive. Have you ever seen an acre more alive? Summer's warming juices, all the vital juices in the pines and spruces. And they start to thrive. They're growing, they're growing, they're growing.
Like me.
Forest creatures love this tree, squirrel and fox and chickadee. There they gathered, there they played, and there they rested in its shade, seeking shelter from the rain. Beneath its tiny branches they would run, while the little tree waited patiently to enjoy its moment in the sun.
Because the boy had planted the little tree on the west side of the old oak, a giant shadow covered her most of the day. Even so, she was happy and thankful for those few minutes in the sun. And even on days when the sun didn't shine, the little tree was the happiest of all the Christmas trees in the valley.
What's this strange sensation stirring in my shoots? Like the sound of trumpets tooting Rudy Toots. Deep within my blood, I feel the urge to bud, and Mother Nature's rhythms rock me to my roots.
All of us trees become weak in the knees when we feel the spring breezes start blowing. We're growing, we're growing.
You must forgive me if I crawl.
You know I'm growing.
Just watch me grow.
Wow, there you go. And I got to give a shout out to Anna Clate for that particular song. Darcy, can you find Anna in the list here? Anna, do you remember this project?
I sure do. I can remember, I could sing along with it.
Yeah. Oh,
It's embedded in there.
do you miss singing?
Yeah, I mean, I sing. I just don't sing professionally anymore.
Right.
I got my ukulele. I got my hobbies.
Right. Well, that's brilliant. No, once a singer, always a singer. But you know, you took a path that led away from the stage or on the stage, and but you're still very much connected with the theater.
Yeah, I would say that I found that I am very happy facilitating the performance and not needing to be a part of it so much. It's always about creating an experience for the audience for me, and I'm pretty good at doing that from the house. So
Great.
that's
Great. Well, well, you look really happy now, and I'm happy to hear you talk about that. Also, in that track, you heard a little bit of Joylette, and we'll be hearing more of her actually in the next track. So I'm going to jump ahead to continue on with the story and go to the next scene, because in the next scene, the little tree realizes, being planted in the shade, that she's actually not growing, that she's not going to be big after all. So she sings a song, reprise, where she realizes, I'm not growing. And then the wise old oak is going to reassure her and tell her that her purpose will be plain in time. So I'm going to jump right to this next song called Have a Little Faith.
I don't understand.
What's the matter, little one?
Am I doing something wrong? Why are the other trees so much bigger than me?
Have a little faith. There's nothing lives in vain. Your purpose will be plain in time. Have a little faith. There's lots of ways to grow, but it takes time to know before you'll see your destiny. Each of us is a kind of miracle, a precious gift to share. Even you are a tiny miracle, but it takes time to see what kind of miracle you were meant to be. There's a spark of life that Take it easy, please. Have a little faith.
I'm sure I'll grow much faster next year.
Ah, love it. I love it. And there's
And there's
Joy,
Joy.
who I've been blessed to know for so many years now, and so happy to hear your voice on this track here. Joy, do you remember recording this? Do you remember you fretting about how high it was?
My voice was so clear and young then.
You still sound great, Joy. I heard you.
Thank you. But
Yes.
I remember. Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Well, that's a great interpretation of that, and thank you for that. All right. So I'm gonna just do one more song, and then we're gonna take a little intermission. And what happens in the next little bit of the story here is, of course, there's time passes and all the trees grow, except for the little tree who is in the shadow of the wise old oak. And so she remains small. But then all the trees eventually are harvested and they're loaded onto the wagon to be taken to town. And down here in the corner in this inset here, you see Wally the tree man buying the trees and to take them to the city. And he has to have his arm twisted a little bit to take the little tree along because he says, well, I don't know if I'd be able to sell that one. But the grandfather kind of gives him a wink and slips him that one. And he says, I'll be happy to take it and see if I can sell it. So all the trees are piled into the wagon and they're on their way to the city. And so we have this, our next song is a song of eager anticipation as all the trees are on their way to make their big city debut.
Say so long to the sticks, boys. Its rustic appeal has paled for me. We're on a one-way road to the big time, the glamorous land of my fantasy. Break out the bright lights and tinsel. Bring on the garlands and beads. I'm simply pining for something that's bright and shining. Make me beautiful. Make me beautiful. Dress me in trinkets and treasures, silver and gold and maroon. For years now I've waited. It's time I was decorated. Make me beautiful. Make it soon. Fresh off the farm, I'm a bundle of charm, just a babe from the woods, it's true. A little bit green to the downtown scene, but I'm ready to make my big city debut. String of the berries and popcorn, hang a star upon the highest bough. Decked out for Christmas, I know I'll be a wow. Make me beautiful, make me beautiful now.
String us with peppermint candy.
White and pink will make me twinkle.
String us with satin and lace.
Gorgeous, just gorgeous. If it's no trouble, I'm crazy for lights that bubble. Make me beautiful.
Make me beautiful.
Make me beautiful.
Make me beautiful.
Hey, Squirt, watch it!
Sorry, it's just that the road's so bumpy. Isn't this exciting?
I don't know what you're so excited about. You're not big enough to have lots of toys and presents under your branches, and you're not strong enough to hold up lots of decorations. Nobody will want you.
Shh, don't be so mean. Everything shines in the city. Got to outshine it all somehow.
Positively, positively. That could be none other than the voice of Darcy Webb there, ladies and gentlemen.
I won't pin me. I'll just come over and say hi.
Okay, yes. So, and so many of the shows that I've done over the years, I've been so blessed to do them with Darcy. Many of you know we met doing a show, and we've done a ton of them together. And later on in the afternoon, we're going to do a reveal of our Christmas video for this year, an original song and music video that Darcy have created for this year. So we're still at it, even though we're now, it's been a few years that we've been doing this together, and I couldn't be happier. And then you heard also in there Anna, of course, and Michael Drolet as the Grumpy Tree. Very prominent figure in this. Part 2 of A Tiny Miracle takes us to the city. And as you can see, we're in a tree lot now. Wally brought Wally, the tree lot man here. You can always recognize him because he has this hat on. He looks in this hat that looks like a salad bowl. He gets all the trees off the truck and he puts them in his tree lot, and he puts the little tree up on a special little shelf here where she's essentially decorating and looking down over the whole scene, and she can see the whole scene. And then the carolers are out here outside of the tree lot, and customers have come to buy trees. This is one of my favorite pieces. I love everything in this, but I'm proud of this, I will say, because it's a quadlibet. It introduces 4 different melodies and then puts them all together. And it was all inspired by this illustration here with the carolers and the different people in the tree lot. And it's called The Perfect Tree.
From her viewpoint, the tiny Christmas tree could see the stand owner carefully arranging her bigger brothers and sisters around the lot and hanging price tags from their branches. Only 10 days remained before Christmas, and it was time to get ready for customers.
The perfect tree, the perfect tree. I've got to find the perfect tree. What kind of Christmas would it be without the perfect tree?
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Hear those kids caroling? I call them my Christmas angels.
Angels, yes. Stay away from that Range Rover, you ruffians!
You looking for something in particular, sir?
In our family, it's traditional. We always have a Douglas fir. Here's a specimen that's impeccable. Say no more, I'll take it, sir. Feast your eyes on that form so fair, recognizable anywhere. No wonder it's the choice of connoisseurs.
It's a Plymouth hay fine. If you want it, it's yours.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La, 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 la.
Come on, let's look at these trees over here. Mom, none of these trees are nearly big enough. Mom, Santa's going to bring a lot of stuff. Where is he going to put it all? We need a tree that's 10 feet tall. None of these strippy, wimpy trees. Trees, they're all too small.
The perfect tree, the perfect tree. I've got to find the perfect tree. What kind of Christmas would it be without the perfect tree?
Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Yoo-hoo! Mr. Tree Man! Do you think you could help me? I'm looking for a skinny tree, a skinny tree. Something slender, something fair. A skinny tree, a skinny tree. One branch here and one branch there. Here's a photograph from a magazine. It should look just so. Martha Stewart is one, and Martha ought to know.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
Have you any
trees. I can't buy trees that make me sneeze.
I want a big tree.
What kind of Christmas would it be if I don't find no perfect tree? It'll be on the terribly. We'll despair on this Christmas day. Without the perfect tree, a tree that must be
Big and beautiful.
very traditional.
Fair and elegant, hypoallergenic, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves.
And the perfect
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right. That was huge. And we have a couple of soloists here from that. We have Claudia, famous for the Yoo-hoo Mr. Tree Man moment.
Which apparently she still says.
All around the house always. You, Mr. Tree Man.
And
And then we have
Mary Ellen Kennedy, Mary Ellen Grant Kennedy, somebody who I've been working with and making shows with for a bunch of years. Hello, Mary Ellen. Hypo, 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 hypo. Do you remember recording that?
Fabulous, really fun, so much fun. I loved all the choral stuff. So much fun singing with everybody.
Yeah, the singing together is always the best part. And then Jeff Murphy, who's going to get a moment to shine here in the track, and then we'll spotlight Jeff, because Jeff plays Wally the Tree Man. And so what happens in the story here is, after all the trees get sold, there's just one tree left, or 1 or 2 trees left, and a man who's clearly kind of down on his luck wants to buy a tree, but all he has is $1. This was a moment in the story in Richard Wainwright's book that really touched me a lot, because Wally the Tree Man kind of figures out what's going on here, and he says to the poor man, take a tree, take some holly, take some mistletoe, it's all good, because it's Christmas. So he is an unexpectedly generous act, and there are still lots of those going on, and they really are the glue that kind of hold our society together. So this is a song called Have a Little Christmas on Me.
Wait, I think I understand. I've been there myself, and I know it can be tough. The money in your pocket never seems to be enough. But just for today, hey, what do you say? You have a little Christmas on me. Those store windows sparkle, they beckon to your eye, and I'm guessing it's depressing when there's nothing you can buy. But don't be depressed, hey, give it a rest and have a little Christmas on me. Have some mistletoe and holly, it'll make your day more jolly. It's a gift from Uncle Wally. I know it's not a lot, hey, it's all I got. Although it may seem like everything's hopeless and your luck is at an end, just when you least expected it, you found yourself a friend. So be of good cheer And maybe next year you'll find another needy family who need a bit of generosity. Well, when you do, you tell them, have a tiny little bit of Christmas, a little bit of Christmas on me. Here, add this to your dollar and buy another present or two.
Thank you very much. And a Merry Christmas to you and your family.
All right. Well, at the very end there, we heard who we heard was the famous Darren Herbert, but the man of the hour here is Jeff Murphy. Jeff, you got your hat on now. Okay.
My UD hat.
Yes. Just when you least expected it, you found yourself a friend. I don't know. I wrote a bunch of these like Tom Waitsy songs for you.
That's right.
It's just, I don't know. It seemed to be a real sweet spot in your voice to sing this way.
Yeah. Well, you always try to get me to do some more bluesy stuff, and I forgot I put in the wah-wah trombone in my voice there for the Louis Armstrong part.
Yeah, a little growl and a little, vocal color and so on. You were very, very good at all of that stuff. And so thank you for that. It's really great to hear that. And also there at the end, I just wanted to mention that was Darren Herbert who got the last word there. Darren Herbert has gone on. He's not with us today, but has certainly gone on to have a very nice career for himself in film and stage on the West Coast in Vancouver and San Francisco and so on. So Darren Herbert, another alum, another student who was in that. So having sold his tree or given his last tree to the homeless man, now Wally is closing up the tree lot, and the little tree, as you see, is still there, and nobody has bought the little tree, and boy, is she sad. So let's hear her song.
As the Christmas tree stand owner prepared to leave, a tear began to slowly trickle down the branches of the tiny Christmas tree. The grumpy Christmas tree was right. She wasn't going to be part of anyone's Christmas. For the first time in her life, she began to cry.
Alone. It's Christmas Eve and I'm alone. And it's a lonely sort of feeling like none that I've known. I've come so far, my hopes so high. Can it be true? There's no one who will buy. Well, here am I, alone. I'm small. They see I'm little, and that's all. But if you measure me in love, I'm 100 feet tall. The love I bring is as big as all outdoors. But unless you make me yours, I fear that love will stay unknown, and I'll remain alone.
Ah, great. Beautiful. Anna, that sounds great. And we've already put you on the spot once, so I certainly won't do that again. Instead, I want to go on to.
I just want to say, as now a 40-plus-year-old person instead of a teenager singing that, man, that is a sad song.
How about that? How about that?
No, man, poor little tree.
Yeah. So she doesn't have to be alone for long, though, because just at that moment, just when things look dark, a man rushes up. It's this dude here, rushes up and bumps into Wally, who is locking up the tree stand. And he says, "Oh my God, I need a tree. Can you give me a tree?" And Wally says, "No, I'm all sold out." He says, what about that little tree up there?" And he points to the tree, the little tree up above on the shed. And Wally gives him the tree, and he jumps in a taxi, and he takes the little tree to the hospital, and he takes the tree down into a hospital room, and he begins to set it up. And there's a nurse in the hospital, and the nurse in the musical is actually played by the same actress who played the wise old oak earlier in the story, which of course is our friend Joylette. But the nurse says, "You better get into your wife now, because you don't want to miss the excitement." Well, what's the excitement there at the hospital? We still don't know, but we hear while this man is off stage, we hear this choral piece called "Bells at Midnight" that kind of gives an idea about what's going on.
On this longest night of all, through the darkness hear them call. Bells proclaim the news to men.
As the night gives way to morn, unto us a child is born, who has wakened once again.
On this longest night of all, through the darkness hear them call. Bells proclaim the news to men. As the night gives way to morn, unto us a child is born. Hope is wakened once again.
This longest night of all,
Hear them ringing, hear them singing, as their joyful leaders sing. Hope has wakened in us once again.
As the sound of the bells faded into silence, another sound was heard.
unto us a child is born.
Oh, look at this sweet little tree. It's beautiful, isn't it? Honey, this little tree is just perfect.
So's this little guy here. Just perfect.
It's like a miracle. We have a son.
Our tiny family has grown by one. This precious gift has been entrusted to our care, and he'll grow fine and fair and full of grace within his parents' strong
will grow to be magnificent, strong, and, well, maybe a little taller than me.
And that's incredible.
Almost a miracle. And every miracle begins with something small.
The tiny Christmas tree was to have the most wonderful Christmas of all the Christmas trees. In a few hours, Mr. Johnson returned to the hospital with their family and friends. There were lots of presents, and everyone said that not only did Mrs. Johnson have a lovely baby, but also the most beautiful Christmas tree they had ever seen.
A single flake of snow can start an avalanche. One root alone can split a stone in two. And little acorns grow to be majestic oaks eventually. Although you may be small, there's big things you can do.
Each of us is a kind of miracle, a precious gift to share. Even you are a tiny miracle,
But it takes time to see what kind of miracle you're meant to be.
You know that each of us is a kind of miracle, a precious gift to share. Even you, tiny miracle. Don't let yourself lose heart. You don't know when the miracle will start. You don't know when the miracle will start.
In this dark and frozen season, let us celebrate the miracle of faith.
And that's the
Look
end.
at the hands. So many hands.
Oh. Wow. That's, thank you. Thank you for all that. I'm all verklempt. I have to mention, oh, look, Anna, there you've kept yours. Look at that.
Oh, that's great, Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, all of a sudden, I remembered it was on the shelf like 10 feet away.
Oh my God. How about that?
It's the original version, so
The urtext.
just listen to.
Library of Congress will be contacting you about that.
Okay.
Yes. I have to give a shout out to Michelle Zala and Bradley Ray, who are not here with us, but both were kind of in the Facebook thread where we were talking about this, and they played the couple at the beginning of this and did this beautiful duet
At the end.
right at the beginning of the finale before Joy came back to bring it all home. I'm so sorry I can't make this louder. That's the thing that ending really needs. It really needs to be in a theater and with a big choir and Joy all yelling their faces off at the end.
Yes, Joy and Mary Ellen and Claudia and Jeff and Todd, we just enjoy. We just need you back. We need to put it on stage.
Right. Right. And then Darcy at the end tells us that we're celebrating the miracle of faith. The miracle of faith, because the little tree had to keep the faith for years, not knowing what his miracle was going to be. And some of us, I think, are still in that situation. We're waiting for the miracle to start
Aren't we though?
still. So I loved sharing this with you. Anybody, and in just one more minute or two, I'm going to go to the grand finale, which is our
Let's
new
get up,
video.
honey,
But
and we'll
anybody
go
want to
over.
come off mute for a moment just
Go
to
to
speak
dinner.
about that?
Charlie,
Yes.
may I be excused? I
You
think we
may
need
be
to get over to
excused.
dinner.
Okay, off to dinner.
Thanks for
Thank you.
including me. It was wonderful.
All right then.
Nice to meet your friends.
All right then. Thank you,
Bye-bye, dear.
Mom. Can you believe that my mom was here on Zoom? That's just like awesome.
You're great.
So
Nice to
awesome.
meet
For giving
you
us
all.
Charlie.
Yeah.
That was
Charlie.
great. I wouldn't have missed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Charlie,
Yes.
thank you for this. And if you ever do this again, I would love to be involved.
I would love to do it again and
would
have
love
you
that.
involved. Yes. So that would be very exciting. I've got to figure out how to make that happen though. That's one of the